Hello there, and as usual, I'm Aaron from Laststandgamers, and welcome. So it's been about a week since we last updated people on the Mad Max server. Since then, a lot has changed. Bases have been constructed, all sorts of different rovers and weird, crazy creations are under construction now, are roaming the wasteland at the same time. So first off, I'm going to show you around this little outpost. We actually attacked this one in the biker video the other day. Now, what's quite cool about this, it has this large trough at the front to catch any raiders. The ramp itself is just on a rotor, so it can lower itself down to allow allies in and out. They've got the access buttons on various different places, and they also have these really cool little bunkers here at the front that I really like the idea of. So it allows quick access both by men and machine out of the front of the outpost. And you can also see that they've got these little dividing struts with sensors on. So you can see they've got some really cool systems in place here. Now as we come in here, you can see that they've actually rolled over one of their mining rovers, so we can actually have a look at that. And because of the no jetpacks, it's going to be quite hard to self-right a rover of this size. So at the current moment in time, I'm not too sure what they're doing with it, but it looks like they're going to try to get it operational. They've also got this thing taking shape. That looks like it's going to pack some serious firepower. It's also made of them armor blast door blocks, so I'd be quite concerned about this. Now after the attack as well, they've also added this catwalk to the outer edge of the facility with loads of interior turrets, just to deter attackers in case someone does breach over the mountaintop. Now coming a little bit further around this place, you'll notice that we've got a construction yard. They've also taken in our trucks, the ramp truck here, some of the other vehicles they've been trying to mess around with, especially one of the motorbikes. It looks like they've managed to rebuild, and they're using these as probably a scrap yard at the moment of various different parts, and they've got themselves a little bit of a setup there. Now they've got another rover in progress over here, and as we come to this section we have their construction yard, and they're currently online at the moment. They're building away, working hard, and you can see they've got themselves a little construction rover. Since there's no jetpacks, like I said before, people need to transport the supplies with them. Loading up a little rover like this and bringing it to a work site is a great way of doing that inside your base. So there's quite a lot going on in this place. Let's go and find another outpost to have a look at. So we've also got another outpost here. Now, a lot of different outposts on this server tend to take some strange shapes. Now, this particular one is a ramp up, so they can defend it quite easily. It's still in construction, as you can see. They've got themselves a gate that then winds itself down into a basement. Still a lot of work needs to be done on this place, but you can see they've got themselves a few different rovers down here and a drilling machine. That does look pretty damn cool. So just a quick little outpost now. Let's continue on. There's a lot to see on this place, and as you can see by the creators, these guys have been hit pretty hard, or been trying to check the surface, or just maybe deter people by putting lots of holes for them to fall into. Interesting concept. Let's continue on. So now we're heading to the trading outpost, and you can see it's got this big bubble around it at the moment because none of the players are offline. Now with the monuments, over time I'll go through, have a chat with players, and I will disable the shields because I don't think it's fair for one player to claim a monument, but they've really done something quite cool to this place. So this is the Road Traders outpost, and they've also got that car that you saw with the flashing beacons coming towards us. It's got this really cool defense with these spikes and a trench to deter any would-be attackers from trying to assault it with a car or stop a war rig from jumping it. So as we go into the facility, you can see we've got a list of interesting ores that they need to buy and sell, as well as a captured dust runner that they were trying to sell when we attacked them with the biker gang. And you can see, Oscar's not included of course, but you can see the rest of this place is starting to take a little bit of a shape. You can see they've got some cool little garage signs up in here. They've got, should we have a quick peek inside since we can? So in here they have got their glamorous rovers. So you can see they've got a little work base so they can work underneath. They've got that Arnold Schwarzenegger calendar under there. Is it? No, it's not. Is that Ryan Gosling? I'm not too good at that. I can't tell from a distance. I don't think it's Arnold Schwarzenegger now. It's someone else. Who is he? Right, anyway, they've got a lovely glittery rover with a remote control turret in here, as well as their cool little, it looks like some sort of Russian vehicle in there you'd see on spin tires or something. And of course, they've got access up to the roof where they have a helipad. Not likely that they'll be visited by helicopters, but they might be a trader themselves. You've got another vehicle out here with a broken wheel, and you can see inside here they've got a little bit of a bunkhouse that's protected. A really cool area there. So if we continue looking around, you can see that they've got other hangars. In this hangar they've got some of the captured vehicles. So they've got one of the rotor head vans that I believe they must have captured, and one of the dust runners here they've captured as well. And in these garages they can work on them and put these vehicles back together. That I think is really cool. A really cool trading outpost, especially the gate. I really do like that, and how they've set fire to them items. Anyway, let's continue on. We'll see what the other outposts look like. So this is another one of them outposts that's just happened to pop up. And if we actually just move our character over here, the thing should spawn in. So this one's a bit more stealthier, or it was originally designed to be a bit more stealthier, but with the bubble around it, of course, players will know it's here. And as you enter down into these dark catacombs, you can see exactly what they've got going down here. They've got these really cool little sheds with the vehicles that I quite like, and some of the vehicles just blend right into them. And then down here, they've got themselves an even bigger facility with, yes, an elevator. So you can see they've got an elevator going down to this next deck that I'm sure they'll try to fill with rovers, but let's just pop back up through there. You can see the more hangars are taking shape with various other crafts that they're trying to work on and control. I mean, this is a truly experimental server. People are trying different designs of rovers to see what works best, and well, that's definitely a unique design to say the least. So you can see what these guys are going for, and with a bunker like this, they're pretty damn safe. They've also got themselves a little bit of a stacker truck that I'm guessing they're using to print off designs. Oh, there we go, there's the printer itself. So they'll put a design on that, print it off, and they'll drive that vehicle out the wall. Very unique indeed. And under here, of course, we've got the refinery and their sleeping quarters. Very nice indeed. Quick access around this place as well, and I like the idea of that, as well as some collectors there. So if anyone does come down this shaft and they get ripped to pieces, it collects them in the bottom. Very nice idea. Lovely little bunker that. I do quite like the bunkers on this server. The open top bases can be a bit more difficult to defend in case people come from the hills, but the bunkers are quite unique. Do have the risk of the drillers. Anyway, let's continue on. So we are now over at House Outpost. We've seen their stuff before, and you can see they've got some work going on and some big rovers. Now these ones, I believe, are quite unique little drilling crafts, so they can come over the top of it, drill down and excavate a large area. They've got another one taking shape over here that's just a giant card container at the moment, and then they've got this large moat that they've blasted out with warheads. You can see that some people look like they've tried to breach in with some bikes, but they've got this ramp up to their little fortress with some spikes on, like we saw before, but of course it's fully finished now, the door fully functioning, and they've also got a little bit of a platform up here. Now, what is this guy, you may be thinking? This is in fact a giant Gatling gun turret that is remote controlled, and with that they can hose down any attackers on the plane. And since the bubbles are up now, the only time they'll get attacked is when the faction is actually online to fight. So as we continue working our way down into here, the bunker's taking shape quite a little bit, well, quite a bit. So we work up into here, we turn our lights on, and we can see we've got a whole variety of rovers. We've got the original rover that I attacked them with in probably the first 24 hours, totally converted now. You've got these other quite unique crafts going on here, loads of little tanks and off-road vehicles. Absolutely love them. That cool little war rig type device there. You can see it's got like these little spikes and stuff going on, and you can see they've got some bikes in there as well that they managed to capture and salvage. So if we go a little bit further, you can see that they're working on ships. They've also got various hangar areas, and they've got like a little garage pit down here, so when they're working on a rover they can get underneath it and they can get on top of it with a ladder. So some more ideas from the other factions. So if you are watching this and you are playing on the server, or maybe just building a rover yourself without a jetpack, these are some of the ideas and ways you can get up to these various places and construct quite easily. Let's continue on to the next outpost. So now we're going to be heading over to the Highway Bridge Monument. Now, a player has taken this over and done some rather cool things to it. Of course, he's installed some turrets around the perimeter of it, so you can see they've got Gatling guns up on these other sides, and they've also repaired the road just a little bit with some spikes on the side to stop rovers from falling off. And as we continue up here, you can see that there's been the odd maintenance to the bridge where rovers have crashed and stuff, and his little outpost is here on top with a big warning sign, Gatling guns all around. They've also built a little bit of a pad off the side there. This is quite a hard sort of place to actually access because of its positioning. You can see they've got some rovers down there below. The thing with this place is that players just can't attack it. If they come up the road, they get shot up. If they try to venture underneath, they get themselves shot up. So it's a very nice little outpost. But the sad thing is, because it's on your monument, it can't have the shield up on it. Let's continue going down here though. So as you can see, we've got the shield up, and the bridge just runs out. They've done a nice job repairing this road. I like the idea of a little bit of repairing, you know, just to keep them going. You can see they've patched up that section as well. Very nice indeed. So if I continue down here, we'll notice that there is this other small little outpost here. Now, I believe this one has been abandoned a number of different times, so it might be completely abandoned now. Yeah, it's not looking like anyone's been here for a while. But yeah, I've been trying to leave the majority of abandoned outposts in as well, so people can come across them and explore them, and just something interesting to find on the wasteland. Of course, if it's quite high in performance, then I'll have to take it out. Let's continue on looking at some of the other cool outposts. So bunkers are very popular on this server. Now, what makes them particularly useful is if you do a big enough shaft like this, it makes it very hard to access the base. But you can see they've got a really cool little structure going on here, with turrets, a defensive system for the surface, just enough to hold back the odd attacker and stop them from storming inside. Very, very cool indeed. We'll work our way back out here, so not to show too much off. With this and with this server, everyone is aware that their creations will get shown off, and a lot of them do enjoy it. So that's what we're doing here. We're trying to show off these bases to the best of my ability, really show you what they're working on. We've got an astronaut here working on one of the decks. Very nice indeed. We've got a big drill connected up to this machine, so all the ore and resources, I'm guessing, is drilled out of this tunnel, is going directly into there, and that's feeding more of his supplies as he builds. So we're now heading over to another one of these outposts. These guys have decided to build within a valley. It looks like they're attempting to get some sort of gate up. Now, if you're wondering what happened to the aircraft control tower place that was at the airport, then was converted by players into a ship, there it is. Now, this thing has passed hands a few times. It feels like it's been captured a few times, and then they've actually transferred ownership between different parties. So these guys have actually got control of it at the moment. We've seen some of their rovers in the past. We've definitely seen this coming towards an outpost. You can see in here they've got themselves these red Humvees that they seem to be mass producing. They've got a load of red Humvees. They've even got a medical one. That's pretty damn cool as well. You can see that we've got another little rover taking shape over here. I'm guessing this is some sort of cargo transport, as well as something like this. They've got a lot of US style vehicles. I'm guessing that's why they've got their Canadian and American flag up there, but they've got some really quite cool little rovers in this facility, as well as this bad boy who looks like he's taking shape quite well. He's really damn shiny as well. You can see the wheels are protected by the armor blocks, and they've got the interior turrets laid out along the side, as well as this outer perimeter here to stop anyone coming in or scaling in through the hills. So a very nice little outpost, but this is quite a basic one. We've not got underground, we've not got any sort of thick defenses. We've just got a nice skeleton type structure that still looks like it's been completed with the vehicles stored in that. Anyway, let's continue on. So many of you are asking about this rover at the end of the biker video as well. Now, this is one of Wizard's designs, and he's combined small wheels with a large grid, because small wheels are just far more effective than big wheels. Big wheels have a lot of issues and just don't seem to have the same amount of power. So you can see that there's been some grinders added onto the front here. They've got themselves this interesting little rotor device on the side here. Interested to see what will actually happen with this. And then they've got the large grid chassis on top with everything he needs, or his crew needs, to survive for a good period of time on the planet. A very nice, unique rover. Let's continue having a look at some rovers now, and then we'll wrap this video up before it gets too long. So due to being no small turrets in this world, people have had to get really creative. And I just thought I'd quickly show you this particular design. We've got the reloadable rocket launcher on top, and we've also got the Gatling guns underneath on a rotating turret, basically, so that they can defend themselves and control this at the same time. We've been seeing some really unique designs for turrets on this server, and some of them work, some of them are a little bit janky, and other ones are so inaccurate you might as well just be spraying away at the enemy. Anyway, let's continue on. So we're now at the final outpost I wanted to take a look at. Now, I really do love the design of this place. You can see they've got this turreted wall with an access ramp. They've also got the gate here itself, and they've got this little bit of a drop pit here where when ships come in, they will be absolutely shredded into pieces. You've also got the control panel either side, and you've got a bit of a shrub growing out of there, but from this viewport, you can see that they're watching over this tiny little valley where they're also adding a second gate of defense to it. So this is pretty damn cool. This is going to be a really awesome sort of structure. You can see that they've got one of these little cargo haulers here to transport more supplies around. A lot of factions are doing that. You can see they're building a second little wall for added protection. Inside the base, it looks like they've got themselves a flipped rover. It's not going super well in here. They've got that one flipped over. These guys are semi in construction. It looks like they've got themselves a tank, though. Look at that bad boy. It's got the missile launcher turret on the front. It's got some gats down in the center. It looks quite heavily armored, as well as good off-road capacity with all them wheels. And you can see that is basically the structure we're looking at. If we just dip behind the wall here, you can see their main refinery systems are all down here in the center, so they've got everything processed in a way. There's a labyrinth of tunnels and ladders. I love the use of ladders, at least it gives them some sort of purpose when you don't have a jetpack. You can see they've got a really nice little outpost beginning to be established here. So to bring this one to a close, I would like to say that some of the creations that are being built on this server are absolutely fantastic. I also need to say my computer needs some more RAM, most definitely, because it is struggling when I've been going around all these different structures, and as towards the end of it, as it gets full, it just doesn't seem to want to dump it. It's just holding on to it, and that's why we're getting this sort of lag like this. Anyway, I'd like to thank you guys for watching. Can't wait to see how this server develops, and I will see you next time. The ones of you with questions about the old server as well, wanting to see how that one's developing, I'll be covering that very, very shortly.